More than half of new drug abusers arrested in Singapore last year were under the age of 30. The Central Narcotics Bureau calls this a worrying trend, as drug abuse appears to be starting at a much younger age, with some as young as 14. The total number of drug abusers arrested last year has also risen by 10% from 2022. In all, about 3,100 people were arrested for abusing drugs. Nearly 1 in 4 consumed more than one type of drug. Repeat offenders have also increased by 7% to over 2,100 last year, from about 2,000 offenders in 2022. The number of new drug abusers caught has surged by nearly 20%. There were about 940 last year compared to 800 in 2022. 1 in 5 was female. In all, the drugs seized had an estimated market value of more than 15 million Singapore dollars. Authorities also smashed 25 drug syndicates last year, which included those using messaging app Telegram to peddle their wares to young people. Methamphetamines, or ice, as well as heroin and cannabis, were the top 3 most commonly abused drugs. 3 in 5 new drug abusers arrested took ice. The number of cannabis abusers arrested was the highest in a decade.
Well, authorities are ramping up anti-drug education efforts targeting youths as more of them fall prey to substance abuse due to social pressures and media influence. The Central Narcotics Bureau is calling on the public, especially parents and schools, to play their part in keeping youngsters away from drugs. Alif Amshah with this report.
As a reintegration officer, Eddie Asmara has seen how drugs can have a dire toll not only on young abusers, but also their loved ones. So his job is to get them back on the right track and reintegrate well into society. And more importantly, kick the habit for good.
In my engagement with them, I think what's important is to hear them out. Many times they have failed before due to triggers, due to relapse due to peer pressure and whatnot. So it's important to have that purposeful engagement with them to really hear them out, what their issues are, and see how we can then link them back into the resources that we have to help them in preventing reoffending.
The National Body Against Drug Abuse says there are various factors as to why youths can easily fall prey to drug abuse.
I think there is a misrepresentation of drugs in today's culture. I think the increasing permissiveness in society, it's really because of a lot of misinformation. Then the other real challenge really is that in today's environment, mental health is becoming an issue, right? And I think the ease in which you can access drugs, become a major issue.
Mr. Tan says families must play a bigger role in arresting the issue.
If there's any change or any refocus or redirection of efforts for us to focus on, it's really clearly on the youth, and then having this engagement with them through significant others, influential people, especially their parents. So that is a calibrated strategy.
To tackle this, more anti-drug efforts targeting youths are underway. These include programs in schools such as interactive skits on the harms of drugs and integrating anti-drug messages in the school syllabus. There are also exhibitions and online campaigns to drive home the dangers of drugs.